Hey guys, I'm Robert from Avolevan and I, or as these guys like to call me, Robert, with the special edition of HopCurious, Bring It to the Table Homebrew Edition.
Today we've got the Rinocerante. It is our Imperial Ancho Mocha Stout. What we are going to do is our flagship beer, our Imperial Mocha Stout, except we've added some ancho chilies to it. Enjoy. You smell coffee? I don't really smell the ancho, like up front. I don't know if that's probably overpowered by the coffee and chocolate, but I feel like just ever so slightly like a hint like tingling my like nose hairs.
I get what you're saying, that you get the initial chocolate and the sweetness, but then if you're actually searching for it, there's like a smoky, chili thing going on in the back end.
It definitely has a coffee shop smell to it.
One thing, I kind of get a little bit of the heat, borderline motor oil type of smell when you get that high alcohol.
You know, like right off the bat, like real chocolatey. The coffee you taste, but it's after. So it's like I feel like I hit the chocolate first, and then I get a little bit of like the ancho spice, but not like overpowering. So it's not like, oh my goodness, spice in your face, you know, hitting you with like a knockout punch. It's just, it's there, and it's kind of sweet ancho, you know what I mean? Like the chili's a little sweet as you're kind of getting where it's like, okay, get a little spicy, and then boom, coffee bean.
Since I know what the grain we put in, I'm kind of surprised that there's not, crystal or something in there, because I do get a lot of that kind of caramel and just real sweet. So I think that chocolate is definitely up front, and then the spice kind of gives it a nice little, a mellow, lingering aftertaste that kind of will sit there and remind you, like, hey, remember me? Like, you added me to the beer.
I totally agree with that. I feel like the ancho chili sits in the background and gives it that after warmth in the chest that you look for in a stout that's high in that alcohol content value. This to me is just like amazing that you guys came out with this.
You know, I'm really getting that chocolate vibe I'm getting, but it's like that dark chocolate. You know, when you eat dark chocolate, you don't have that milky thing. It's very rough. Like the chocolate isn't like all messed with. It's just raw.
Raw bitterness.
The raw bitterness of chocolate. Normally, you don't have all the added sugar and all that crap in it. It's just raw chocolate. And then the coffee is like, hey, wake up, man. Maybe there's caffeine in here. I don't know. And then you get that smoky ancho chili, like, yeah, here's a little bit of spice, a little bit of tingle. Should enjoy it.
At first I was a little skeptical. I was thinking the ancho probably wouldn't hold well. It might not pair well with chocolate and coffee. And I was like, obviously I thought it would pair well with coffee. I was just thinking chocolate is kind of like a weird thing.
Yeah, no, I've definitely had spicy chocolate before, chocolate with peppers added to it, and I love that. I'm one of those like spicy beer fans that will search out the heat. And so if it were mine, yeah, I would crank it up to like 11, but that's just me.
If we're talking about heat, I get where you're going with. It's not a complete crime by Stone that you feel the heavy heatness. In referencing two stouts, like Rasputin is one of my favorites, Old Rasputin, and it does the same work where you take a few sips of that first glass and you are already starting to feel the nice looseness of it.
So, question. What would be the ideal situation for you to crack open a bottle of this?
Man, ideal situation. I mean, I guess coming from mostly a Latino side, a Latino family, I would imagine that I could totally crack this open at like parties, like quinceañeras, like other events. I mean, weddings, like you imagine.
Bring up a good question is if we were to crack open a bottle of it. So that leads me to want to suggest aging some of this. Make it sit for about a year. See how it does in the glass.
That would be interesting.
See what kind of complexities develop that way. If it mellows, right? If it ends up getting hotter, if kind of see.
Rule of thumb is that chilies always get hotter over time, right? So
Ooh,
it's
is
like
that the-
salsa as well?
Ooh.
Salsa gets hotter over time.
Definitely.
The longer you let the salsa sit, the hotter it gets.
So that'd definitely be a good excuse to, oh, hey, I've been cellaring this for 2 years now. Brought it out for a special occasion. Hey, you know what? Like, this is one of the first spicy versions of our IMS that we did, and we're really stoked on it. So,
Yeah, dude,
like,
that would be great.
So
we should.
we should think about putting some of this away,
Oh, we should.
letting that little age process.
I would honestly have it anytime. I prefer stouts on a regular. You know what I mean? Once you go stout, you have no doubts.
That was great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Oh man.
Ideal situation though, I'm going for a barbecue to open this at, but I'd be wanting to put a couple of peppers in my smoker and really try to bring out the peppery taste, like kind of pair that together.
All right. Question to you: what kind of dishes would you make? Would probably do like a ancho chili glaze on top of a ham for holiday season.
All right, I have the weirdest idea. You take this beer, you put it into a pan, and you put a chuck roast into it, and you use that to make a pot roast. And you take the smoked bell peppers that you just did, and you cut them up, and you put them in a taco with the pot roast, and that's your pot roast bell pepper tacos.
I like stouts with desserts every now and then. So it's, I think, something dark and strong totally complements any type of sweetness. So, I mean, for a dude, if you're trying to take your lady out on a date, hey, it's never bad to introduce her to different types of beer as well. And there's girls that are becoming more and more involved in craft brewing, which can totally understand the pairing of having some, let's say, chocolate covered strawberries or something with a nice, dark, strong beer that you can enjoy.
Great idea. Vanilla ice cream. Vanilla bean ice cream.
That's tight. All right, this one might be kind of weird, but bear with me. So I'm thinking some kind of like pork carnitas tacos with braised in the beer. Cook it up, deep fry it. Do like a mango salsa on it. So something to kind of play with that chocolate and the spice of the ancho chili.
All right, guys, got a question for you. What would you rate this beer? I mean, I like stouts, so I'd probably go with a 6-pack of Growler.
Well, on our traditional rating scale, I would definitely buy it in a bar, buy it in a growler. I would buy a ton of it, share it with friends, let everybody know.
I definitely see myself buying this beer at a bar, hands down. I would definitely see myself picking up a 6-pack or a growler of this without a doubt.
I'd rate this beer as a buy a 6-pack or growler or multiple bottles because it's just that good. Trust me, we good.